I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was.
He's like, am I having heat stroke? Is this... And if there's anything that voters in the middle of the desert in Las Vegas are worried about, it's electric boats and shark attacks.
What's your take on the boat battery shark thing from Vegas?
So, you see, I say to them, these boats, they get really heavy and they could sink. And if they sink and the battery's on top and then the battery gets in the water and, there's very strong electric currents when that happens. I mean, the currents are going through the water. Am I going to get electrocuted or am I going to go with a shark? I will get electrocuted every time.
You think we should be this far out? Stop worrying, Mark. We'll be fine.
Hey, I'm gonna eat y'all. I'm gonna eat that hairy leg. I'm gonna eat that one too. Hope I can see right up them shorts.
Just is so crazy. And it turns out, I looked it up, like I found a video from about a year ago where he was saying almost exactly the same thing. Like, we talk about the dementia. We talk about how stupid he is. I don't think we talk about how I was almost going to use a bad word. Sorry. I don't think we talk about how weird he is.
He was saying that China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. I would give myself an A+.
Like the obsession with flushing toilets and water pressure and sinks, which just seems to come up again and again and again. And you're just like, what is your problem, dude? Like, do you have a shower you're not happy about? Or maybe are you having some, I don't know, you having some bladder issues where maybe there's a little tinkle problem? I don't know. But then on top of that, like this is the third time I know about this. There's the fact that Stormy Daniels shared when they spent time together that he wanted to watch Shark Week with her. There's the speech he gave a year ago talking about sharks and electricity and electrocution and sharks and boats and then the exact same thing in Vegas. A place known for having lots of oceans around it with sharks in them. I mean, if I'm going to talk about sharks, I'm going to go somewhere like Vegas or Cincinnati or Minneapolis, the places where the oceans are and the sharks are present. I mean, he's just the stupidest, most mentally addled fool. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I'm a very stable genius.
The Space Force, space, very important.
At pleasure. What a name right now. But what we just saw, we just left pleasure. Paradise. For paradise.
No, I'm not a racist. I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed. That I can tell you.
Full faith in our intelligence agencies. Whoops, they just turned off the light. That must be the intelligence agencies.
He thought card sharks were actual sharks. No, that's why it's just magical.
I saw a sand shark and sorry, go ahead.
Well, he goes to the House today, and he's basically the whole thing is pegged as he's going to talk to them about what their agenda is going to be when he wins.
I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And I am proud, and I'll tell you what, I am proud to shut down the government.
Anyway,
he's probably talking to them about batteries and sharks.
Well, apparently he did. He kind of went off on these tangents, and I just think about how dumb of a human being do you have to be to see that guy coming on in and be like a Marjorie Taylor Greene and sitting there going, "Yay, he's speaking!"
Well,
like it's
she's that dumb of a human being, and she's crazy. I mean,
yes.
I it's funny. Like one of my kids asked me, my older son, he's like, "Who, if Marjorie Taylor Greene were, if you had to choose between her and Donald Trump as president, who would you choose?" And I was like, a large mountain to thrust myself off of. I mean, the truth. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of other nice countries out there in the world. I mean, the truth of the matter is that I think she's every bit as mentally insane with all sorts of disorders as he is.
Yep.
But it's the other ones, right? It's the careerists. It's the ones that aren't that crazy, that are so pathetic in every way possible, from lack of conscience to unbelievable sort of willingness to abide by anything just to get ahead, to the fact that, like, even if I were this ambitious, I want to be president so badly, like, or vice president, there's nothing you could do to get me to sit in a room with him. He smells, he's stupid, he looks like a freaking clown with his orange face and his piss cotton candy hair, and I probably got you in trouble. He's just a joke of a buffoon, of a loser, of an idiot, of his ill-fitted suit with his tie down to his knees, and I mean, it's just like, I don't understand how even if, and I guess this is why I could never play that game. I was never a staffer on the Hill, and I worked in a couple of campaigns, and after that I had to go into a consulting role because I can't do it. Like, I couldn't even with normal people sit there and kiss their butts and be like, "You look great today, sir," or "Ma'am, you sound smart today," if they didn't. But with this guy, you're going to sit there and tell him what he wants to hear constantly when everything he says is so stupid. Like, it's just, what kind of person are you? What, Marco Rubio and Lindsey Graham and Elise Stefanik? Like, what is wrong with you?
You and I remember the days when you'd have a person that was kind of like in Veep, the guy that would go on out there, and none of this stuff was really that bad. There might be a little bit of a scandal here or there, but it was never bad. And then we got into the age of Trump, and it's always putting out fires. It's always having to validate, no, they meant to put the Sharpie mark into Alabama on the hurricane map. That nuclear bomb.
Really, we are going to buy Greenland. We really are.
And the monumental, just the insanity that you have to go on out there and sell as nuanced. It's literally, like I say, they try to sell you this crap sandwich as an actual filet mignon. And I keep looking at people eating crap sandwich, and they're like, "Give me seconds," and you're like, How is this even possible?
Helping with Florence. This is a tough hurricane, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. That's such a racist question.